My siblings are a lot older, 3 years apart. And I remember Dwight, he used to always tell me, I cry every day, I can't remember. He used to wrap me up in a blanket, you know, and I just start sweating. And it ticked me off, wrapped me up and I was stuck in it, you know. And he'd just laugh and tease me. Sherry was older than I, you know. She was a teenager. Oh, Sherry's great. She's real loving. She loves everybody. She's a sweetheart. I love her. She's our hippie. Yeah, I think that was it. In those days, we'd call them hippies. But see, I was too young. I was 9 years younger. But all the hippies would hang out at Sugar House Park. Yep, I love her. She's 70 now. I'm 61. She's 70. Yeah, she's a cutie. We love her no matter what religion or what they believe, and same with me. She still loves me, even though she knows I like to go to church once in a while. Dwight, I used to look up to him. Yeah, he went to college, graduated from college, engineer, electrical engineer. The only memories, I think he'd go swimming, yeah, camping. We'd go up camping with my dad, we'd go up to the UNS, that was good times, fishing, doing things like that. Oh, I remember when he graduated college, University of Utah, he graduated and he got his big job in Fort Huachuca. It was in Arizona, an Air Force base in electrical engineering. I always looked up to him because he's big electrical engineer, he's good at math and all, you know, just the opposite, stupid Mark. You know, and Karen, oh, I remember Christmas time. We used to always open the presents early. My mom and dad, we didn't have a lot of presents. They would just have certain piles. I remember getting up way early, like 1 or 2 in the morning before they wake up and go see what's going on. That was, yeah, good time. Try to figure out what's under the tree, or you'd go in there, everything's dark, but you see all the shiny toys from piles. I remember distinctly one year I got a couple of walkie-talkies. I love those walkie-talkies, and that was cool. You could talk around the house, you know, big antenna. But I remember on the same day Christmas, I broke like 1 or 2 of the antennas off, going around and snap them off. And I remember when I was a little kid, one of my favorite toys, I had a tank. It was probably about this big, I don't know, like that, a big tank, and my friend had one. I think Joey Robinson, but we had tanks. We had big plastic bullets put in them and shoot them out. It was cool. Or Levi and his excavator. I had a tank, which is cool. And then of course I remember my other toy, my air gun. It was made by Whammo, but it was kind of the hole right here, and then it extended and had a cocking thing. I remember my dad reading the newspaper. He'd be sitting across the room quite a ways, and boom, I'd shoot it, and then all of a sudden, about a second or two later, you'd see the paper, and shoot air. That was fun, and I remember that. We used to jump in our bushes there. I used to jump off the porch into those. That was fun. And I had a lot of boxes. We had boxes downstairs. We used to make huts, you know, like every kid does. And we used to play badminton around our house. There we used to play croquet in the backyard, you know, the wood balls. Yeah, and we had the badminton set. We liked badminton. And then me and Brian Benyon used to have BB gun fights. BB guns, shoot each other, which was not good, but it was fun. We used to go golfing around the neighborhood. We'd have a little wiffle ball, not a real golf ball. We had our golf clubs, we'd go from yard to yard, and a tree would be a hole, you know, we'd shoot that. Play golf around here, me and the boys. Brian Benyon lived down there, so we have the BB gun fights. That's Brian Benyon's house. That sure has changed. He's the one you see kissing Karen. But when we were a little older, we'd play golf with the little wiffle balls. The tree would be the hole, but we'd go around the neighborhood. I don't know if people would like that now, golfing on their lawn. Golf course is right over there. I would go get golf balls down in the river. And I guess when they're shooting the golf balls, it goes into the river sometimes, but it'd go down the river, down by 17th East, under 17th East, and then right there, they would swirl. There'd be several golf balls swirling around, so we could swim and grab them and try to sell them. There's a tunnel under the road. We used to go in there, And it came out right there. I don't know what they got there. You can't see probably where that thing's sticking up. I don't know. But the river was down there. We used to go in. That's where we'd jump in the river and get golf balls. Right down there. The groundkeepers that would take care of the golf course, they'd shoot you with salt. I never got hit, but yeah, you know, get you off. You weren't supposed to be trespassing because you're not supposed to. It's private property. It's a private golf course. But we'd go in there, and I remember years ago we'd jump it, but it was building the freeway there, I-80. It wasn't built yet. I played baseball, yeah, at Sugar House Park. I was on the Braves. Yep, there were the Reds, the Braves, the Giants. We had a guy named Blauser, big guy. He would always hit the home runs. And my dad used to promise me malt if I'd hit it over the fence, but I never did. Never hit it over the fence, but he'd still take me for the malt. That was my thing. Used to play marbles. You know, you bring your bag of marbles to school and we'd all play marbles, you know, on the playground or wherever. I think I won one marble championship. You gotta shoot and hit them, and you know, it was fun. But everybody wanted the crystals, or the other ones were called cat eyes. You know, it looks like call them biggies. And then you have crystals, and then little smaller ones. I can't remember what we'd call it, 3 Tixies, or you gotta hit them 3 times and then you win it. And then you keep their marbles. You know, that was when I was really young. And I had a few friends at school, you know, not too many. Yeah, Russell Hale, this is Russell Hale right there. He was my friend. He lived on 21st South there. I used to always go over to his house. It was probably junior high. We'd play ping pong. But Danny lived here, Danny Bodell, Scott, Dal Hale. This was Scott's house right here. We used to go jump on their dad's bed. They had a king-size bed. We'd go in and jump on it. My favorite little friend lived right next door to me right there. His name was Corey. He had cystic fibrosis. A lot smaller. Nice kid, cute. I think he was a little younger than me. He was my neighbor, my good friend, but he did eventually die, but I think it was later on in life. Because it was a terminal disease or whatever. I remember going swimming with him down to Hygeia. Just below 13th East there, it was an ice skating rink and a swimming pool. Hygeia. That's where we'd go swimming. It's good times, swimming underwater, pinching girls. But it was just a fun place to go swim in the neighborhood, you know. Oh, my friend had a car, Dorian. Now this is Dorian's house. Is that it? Yeah, Dorian, my friend. Right there, lived right there. Dorian LaFlame. But he had a Comet, or an older car, but I got to drive it a few times before I even got my license, which was a no-no then. Nowadays, you just drive even before you get a license, don't you? But he was older than me. He was born in December, and he had his license. He'd let me take his car. I'd take his car around, drive it around a little bit. It was before I had my license. I shouldn't have. But Dorian, his dad died when we were 10, 11 or something like that. It was sad. His dad died. And I think they had he worked for Kennecott Copper, and I think this casket was copper, made out of copper or whatever. But it's kind of sad when you're that young to lose your dad or mom, you know? It's kind of sad. I don't know, people in the ward kind of shunned or weren't nice to Dorian, so I was his friend. But everybody picked on him. He's a good kid, nice kid. But the people at the basketball or church didn't treat him very well. And I think he left the church and he joined some other church. He's in Oregon now, and I think he's like a missionary with him. But I think people made him feel bad. Yeah, Dorian was a good, nice. And I've talked to him a couple of times, but he's in Oregon. Old man like me now, I guess. I didn't have a lot of friends. Had a few friends or whatever, but you know, used to get in a lot of fights because they start picking on you. They start hitting. The kids in grade school just make fun of you the way you look. You know, they just make fun of you if you're out of the ordinary, or if you have a hand missing or something wrong with you, they'll make fun of you. My hair lip, my nose, you know, they squish and they'd make fun of you, you know. Well, there's a few kids I didn't like. The one kid I really hated was Brett Tucker. And you know how we could have changed his name. Yeah. I didn't like Brett Tucker. Kevin Love I didn't like. I used to fight. Another one, David Kaufman was another one.
we had a good fist fight. They used to make fun of me. A lot of them. Who knows? They'd make fun of you and all that kind of stuff.
Worse than me, I'm the nerd bird. Oh, there's Brett Tucker. Yeah, he had his group of boys. But I forgive them, I don't care that we were just kids. But they're kind of mean to other kids, so. But maybe that made me a better person in life now. I don't know.
Maybe that's helped me, you never know, right?
And I think junior high, a few of them, a few fights or whatever, but not too bad. I just had a few friends, in my neighborhood, that was about it. And then I remember a guy down the street from my house had apple trees. I don't think I might have taken one, but out of his yard, and ate an apple. We used to steal some apples, but I never stole from stores or anything.
And then the guy's doorbell we used to ring and run. We used to call him Fruitcake Jones.
And we loved the toilet paper. That was a big thing. I forgot her name, but I put a bunch of firecrackers on her door. She lived just down the street, but yeah, there were ones that they would get all upset if you do anything, so that made us want to keep doing it. Just get a needle or a pin and hook a piece of thread on it, like sewing thread. Or was it fishing? No, it was thread. String, And you just hook it on their screen, and then you go all the way across the street at night, and then you get a wet cloth and you rub it and you go, so they could hear it in the screen and then come out. What's going on out here? Nobody's there. I remember doing that one. That was the extent of me. Except my beer day that one time, but I didn't do it. That was in high school, after we had our driver's licenses. We kind of went out rebellious. Doug Evans and Scott Page, and there was a girl, Kim Finn was her name, and there was 2 or 3 of us, but we used to, we'd go get we'd try beer for the first time. I didn't. Oh, I did actually try that. But I remember my friend, he tried smoking once. What was it? I never smoked. I thought, if I'm going to smoke, I'm going to smoke a cigar. I never did it. I remember lighting a cigarette for him once, but that was it. Our bad days. And then one time we went on a scout camp, and we had our little Boda bags, and we filled it with some Boone's Farm wine or whatever. But that was it. Oh, the time we got caught. We'd done it probably a few times before, but this was one of those weekends we wanted to. I didn't like the taste, it just made you kind of feel good inside, It was kind of gross beer. We went, it was a 7-Eleven or whatever, my friend, I was in my car, I think I was driving my car, Toyota station wagon or something, I can't remember, but we're up in Holiday. So we'd usually get somebody to buy it for us at a 7-Eleven or something, because we're too young. You'd ask some grown-up to go buy you a 6-pack or whatever it was, but Scott ran into the 7-Eleven, and next thing I know, he's running out with a big 12-pack, throws it in the car, and of course this was like 1 or 2 in the morning, and there's a sheriff sitting at the intersection, and so we take off. Sure enough, he turns his lights on, pulls us over. I was in the getaway car, so I guess I'm part of it. And he asked, what we're doing, he questioned us. And then he took us back to the 7-Eleven. He thought we stole it, but Scott left the money on the counter. He just grabbed the beer and left the money on the counter. And then he counted it, and he even told the clerk, he even got a tip, he got made extra. And then of course he told our parents, we told our parents. We just wanted to try it once, even though we had done it 2 or 3 times before. But I didn't go to jail. He took us to the sheriff's station in Holiday and called our parents. But I didn't ever go see a judge or anything like that. Probably because we paid for it, we didn't steal it, but we were underage and shouldn't be drinking, right? So that was it, and we never, And then I think it was a week before, I think we went skiing once, took some up skiing, and then a week or 2 after that I met Mom, and I've never touched it since.